I might start doing that. We borrowed a concept.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I should Google it.
What's the name of this guy again, please? Stars a piece of incense and Spanish guitar. Anyway, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is episode 70 of Midnite Our Podcast. Welcome back to the show. If you are watching right now, how you doing? I have the delightful, delectable, and downright delicious Jake Pickford and Peter White on episode 70. Hello, guys.
Hey, everybody.
Before we started rolling, ladies and gentlemen, we started talking about a lot of shit. Namely, we're talking about Trump and all kinds of other stuff. What's happening in your world? We know in our world. It's a little bit crazy. Trump thinks Africa is a shithole, or a country full of shitholes.
Yeah, but we all know that the world is a world full of shitholes.
Shitholes, yes, many shitholes.
You know, I think that it doesn't surprise me that Trump said that. It doesn't surprise me that anything that Trump says ever.
But what about this? So, Eminem seemed to be quite upset with Trump, and Trump likes to respond. He responded to Rosie O'Donnell. He responded to Jay-Z. He responded to the NFL players that took a knee. But he hasn't said anything to the great white rap hope. Or was he? Is he still the great white rap hope? I don't know. Is Eminem still up there? I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
I wonder how many of Eminem's fans would be Trump voters. Though.
Yeah, there's going to be a big cross section. I wonder if that played a part.
Venn diagram with quite a significant selection.
I'd say it's half and half, right? He's definitely got a lot of Southern or the Confederate, those guys who was it?
He may have lost them on this new album though.
Where was the place though?
Yeah, he can't lose them on politics.
Yeah.
New music.
Where was that place though in America where not Jacksonville, somethingville, where they went there with all of the torches and shit like that?
That was Jacksonville.
Was it Jacksonville?
Jacksonville,
okay.
Mississippi.
Okay, and they pretty much were protesting the Confederate statues, right? Something like the statues and shit like that. I think it was statues. They didn't like the statues, or was it flags?
Basically, they wanted to bring down all the symbols of the side that lost, the things that they celebrate, because some of the Confederate supporters, they claim that
neo-Nazis.
Colin Kaepernick's not respecting the flag, and you're like, but you're flying a Confederate flag. It's like saying, I support the Allies, and then having a swastika flag in your basement.
Bit dark, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it is a moral equivalent. It's like you lost, get over it. Shit, I sound like.
And your side was fighting for slavery, so maybe don't keep them around. It's like.
But that's I think how there's a bit of there's a new thing in the army where people are saying there still is cliques forming because they're saying in the army they're allowing people to pray and not the whole hijab, but they can wear some clothing that goes to their religion. They try to encourage them to still practice that, but then obviously if you're still clicking off, you're gonna have some people going, why are we fighting with the enemy? Do you know what I mean? There's still this classic, we're after all Muslims instead of we're after Al Qaeda.
There's a new advert, isn't there?
ISIS. Not after all Muslims.
There's a new advert for the British forces where they're sort of patrolling in a mountainside, and a Muslim soldier just bends down and starts praying.
Mm-hmm.
And so obviously try and make inclusive. It's like not all Muslims are bad.
Absolutely, yeah.
Same thing with the African thing. The fact that Trump believes that Africa's a shithole is probably a common thing for a lot of people in this country to believe that Africa is in need of our help because the only thing they see in Africa is comic relief or appeals on behalf of poor, desolate countries. And obviously each country has got problems. Uganda is a thriving country, but it's got some serious problems in the sort of less urban areas. So I think they're not helpful sometimes, some of the charity appeals, because it enforces this idea. I think Africa's doing better than us in terms of growth.
Oh,
so their trajectory is much better than ours.
Yeah.
There's still the perception in the West that they're all fleeing over here, and you're like, well, a few of them are.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is just,
countries.
like you say, misinformation, and people don't realise. I think I watched something the other day, and they were talking about. They asked people questions like, "What percentage of do you think population of Africa don't know how to read and write, and things like that? And what do you think the average size of the family is in Africa?" And obviously, people were giving answers like, none of them, a very low percent can read and write. Got this idea that they've all got huge families and stuff like that, and it's all rubbish. It used to be true, but it's progressed much more than people realise, and I think that Trump saying things like that just reinforces that.
Oh, of course.
That could just show you the highest level of miseducation or uneducation or misinformation. When you're uninformed about something, you can easily come up with a statement because a lot of people haven't been educated to that part of knowledge that Africa is developed. That's where your mobile phone resources come from, blah, blah, blah. But then, like you said, you only really get the small little, not adverts, but the small little, I don't know, like news or whatever. It's in an instant, you get a piece of information. You don't get enough background on that information, but you just get like a picture that's etched into your mind. Oh, wow, Coney, he's got child soldiers and blah, blah, blah. AIDS is rampant. Malaria, the fucking killer bees are going to be coming and shit like that.
That's what
Yeah,
most people shake.
there you go, yeah. So the idea
Unless they
is...
go on holiday and then they're like, oh, Masai Mara, or we went to Cape Town, or, you know, Morocco. And it's 53 countries in African Union, like, or in Africa. So it's, to disparage the entire continent.
Yeah.
That's the problem. The amount of people that probably don't even know that Africa's a continent. Nothing is a country. You know what I mean? Like, especially in America. It's just...
The same people would say that about Europe as well. They're like, oh, look what's happening in Germany with the immigrants. Like, Europe is a failed venture. And you're like, most parts of Europe are actually doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Like, including ourselves, we still are in Europe.
Yeah, for however long. And that again, we wasn't really given much of an education behind that decision. I just feel like we've created a society of people with short attention spans, and then we try and give them a lot of information in a quick moment to make a decision on, and yet we're not giving them any background on that information. We're just saying, blah, 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 what are you going to do? You're like, wait a minute, what about this? Don't worry about that. What about this? You're like, but I don't know about this. And you're kind of thrown into two queues, isn't it? Am I going to be red or blue? Am I going to be Labour or Conservative? Am I going to go this way, that way? And you never really know, other than, well, I thought this was strawberry. No, this is blueberry, mate.
It's polarisation. It's red or blue, left or right. It's too much. There's not enough grey area.
Is there a way to change
There's not
this?
enough grey area being used, grey matter being used by people to sort
Very
of...
cerebral there. Yeah. Is there a way to change this, though?
No, I think we're fucked.
No, don't say that.
I do in the most part.
Well,
You can throw some LSD in the water supply.
How realistic
Suggests that we're pretty fucked on most
if you want to remain realistic, then there's probably not much that you can do to change it.
This ain't the show for realism.
There's not much
But if you want to go real, like, I think money is predominantly going to be a problem always. I don't think that should exist.
There might be cash money soon. That'll be phased
well,
out.
yeah.
Everyone's going to be on a card system, right?
You'll have to swipe
Bitcoin everywhere.
Donate money to
your whole body will be a scanning system. And you just pay with yourself, or everything will be run by Amazon, and you just go into a shop and they've just got cameras everywhere. Did you hear about this?
Yeah.
Amazon Go.
It's like Minority Report,
Shop.
basically.
What, you just go in and just...
Amazon have got a shop, right? So everything's on a weighted shelf.
Right.
It was meant to come out a year ago.
Yeah.
But it didn't, because Amazon didn't take into account that children exist. And so they're going to pick up shit and move it around and hide it and throw it everywhere. But basically, you go into the shop with your phone, and you're walking around the shop, and there's loads of cameras watching what you're putting in and out of the basket. And some of the items have got like barcodes that the cameras can scan.
Oh, right.
And so it all tracks it and everything like that. And then you just walk out the shop. and the point behind it was that you have to. There's no lines. You skip queuing.
Oh, right.
But on the opening day, there was a line around the block for people to use it.
Yeah, it's like
So
the
they
new
just do it
iPhone
like
10.
cashiers.
It's like the new
pretty
iPhone 10.
much,
You
yeah.
wanted to be one of the first people who's a part of it, surely.
Yeah.
Right, happy with my iPhone 5S.
Yeah, I mean, you could do it on that. All you need is the Amazon. You need just. You don't need to be an Amazon Prime member either. You just
What?
Need it. Yeah, I know. It's pretty good, isn't it?
That's sick.
Yeah.
But I'm a Prime member. I want more,
I am a Prime member.
I want more than
Nothing
just
to do with
the
it.
second-hand TV shows and movies that Netflix didn't want. Do you know what I mean? Like that's how I feel. Like Hulu is doing bits. I think Disney have got their own streaming channel now.
Yeah,
DC,
Sky's
all
is
of them.
great.
Sky is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
And now I'm saying to myself, I've been streaming for so long. How do I get out of this whole, like, I'm used to the whole Cody and just like, you know, finding the fun and blah, 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 and sitting down and download. But like, I want to go legit now. I want to like a 4K TV and a fucking Skybox, but then I don't want to have to pay the money for that stupid bill. It's
I
horrendous.
won't pay Sky. I got Now TV, and I basically use my mate's password, and he uses my Netflix one. So it's a nice.
Yeah.
There's enough in
It's a
there.
good swap.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we've got all of them at home.
It's funny. So many comedians watch so much stuff, and you're like,
When do you write?
when do you
Yeah.
Like people say, "Oh, your social media presence isn't enough on." I'm like, "Yeah, it's because I'm busy. I've got other stuff."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. It's a balance, isn't it? You want it some.
I feel the same about people that watch Game of Thrones.
Yes, I was going to say there is
like, how do you have time?
Like some people are telling me like, what do you mean you didn't watch the episode last night? You're like, I came home from work, I had barely enough time to socialize with the people that was there. I then had to go straight back out to go and do a gig and socialize with strangers and other comics, and then I had to jump on the bus or train, whatever, to get back home. I had to eat because I was dying. There was no more fuel left in my body, and then I had to sleep because I've got work tomorrow. What do you mean? What was I doing with my life? What did you do today?
Yeah.
I watched the program for 45 minutes and then decided to cuss you because you didn't. That's it.
I just picture people getting 5 hours sleep and like right up to 1 in the morning they're on their tablet or their phone.
Yeah, no.
Like me.
Well, you stay up to watch it.
I watch a lot of stuff after I come back from gig. I'll watch an episode. Or
Really?
God,
oh no.
I also watch a lot of crap TV. Someone's turned the computer off, just flick the telly on.
If I get back from work and I haven't got a gig, I'll happily put on just the television and see whatever. Well, like, what's the shittest program I can watch?
Have you seen the First Choice advert, by the way? It's
With the Sandman.
No, it's an interracial family rapping.
Oh,
it's so bad. Oh,
No.
yeah. It's do you want to see it?
Kind of.
Oh my God, this is terrible. This is not where you should be trying
It's
to.
an interesting angle for them to go down.
I mean, I understand.
Who's their target demographic?
Well, obviously, there's not enough
Rap
mixed race
fans?
families there. There's not enough black families going there. Jesus Christ.
but often in modern advertising, it is a thing. They always have mixed race couples. Like
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah, it's to promote.
But the whole idea is, what happened to just before we play this? What happened to natural, like, viewership, where you just would watch something and there was no angle behind it, no politics or anything? Like, I go to Linda Hamilton's Sarah Connor in Terminator. From the very first film, she's just this girl who has no idea that a guy's gone for a phone book and she's the next one to get capped. So she's like, what? You're from the future? This doesn't make sense. You're dressed like a creep. The guy's like, no, please, my name's Carl. I need to save you. She's like, I don't believe you. Till the guy turns up, murks everyone. She's like, okay, I'm coming with you. So she's ready running for her life. And throughout that entire movie franchise, she grows into this absolute badass bitch, with all due respect. She's a murkers by Terminator 2. She's in a mental home because she's like, well, I can't be in the real world. I know there's people out there to kill me. And everyone's like, we don't believe you. Till he turns up and murks everyone inside the what's it called? Psychiatry, yeah, the mental home. So my point is that Linda Hamilton was a really galvanizing character. Just wasn't because she was just a woman. They put it. She was integral to the film because she's the mother of the guy who's going to be the savior against Google or Skynet, whatever you want to call it. And now you just got female characters thrown into movies to be heroes just because we want to fill a quota. And I don't think that's important when you're just, I don't know, the image of something that you're trying to throw out instead of just having something naturally there.
Yeah, but I think there's always going to be a point at which it wasn't ever there,
Yes.
or it was seriously underrepresented. So now we're inevitably in a point where we're noticing it, and you would hope that would eventually get to a point where we're not noticing it. But it's just
goes from
there.
one extreme to another, like underrepresented, overrepresented. So you can have that.
Yeah, I mean,
Because you have to merge markets, right? It's like we talking about Trump and Eminem. There is like how many Eminem fans are Trump fans or whatever, I suppose. But then if you're a comic book fan and you now know that all the comic books you used to read back in the day are now being turned into movies, you're not entirely upset with the female characters. They are amazing. But also, if you read the comic books, they are portrayed in a certain way. They are there to make young boys and men just absolutely like jaw drop. They're like, she's absolutely kicking ass whilst wearing a thong. Do you know what I mean? So this idea is comic books is a world in itself, but you're now going to try and bring it into a modern day political society. So that entire comic book is going to change. So the fans aren't exactly going to go towards it, even though really, like Ghostbusters, a movie that you could probably say didn't have enough female characters in it. Okay, fine. Sigourney Weaver wasn't enough. Their girlfriends.
Sigourney Weaver, two of the best.
I was going to say,
comedy.
amazing,
Well, comedy actresses.
but the other film there has just kind of done a reversal of it, where you've got rid of the male protagonist and you've got the female protagonist, which is great. But the way they handled that intellectual property was horrendous. So this is what I'm saying with comic books. It's like you're trying to tap into different markets, but with a political message, and you're now ruining the true art that was there in the first place. You got to come with what brought you to the dance. Isn't that the same?
Rebooting anything is lazy.
Should be. This ain't my girl, by the way. She's still in the car. Dude, how could you do this? This is the prom. All right, this is the horrendously cringeworthy. It's 2 minutes, so I can't watch all of it. But it's called Go Mahusive.
Yo, 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 let's go, go, go with the no, 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 A to the I. When it comes to family vacays, first choice got kung fu skills.
The grandmasters of all inclusive.
Black belts in no bar bills. They're the czars of spas and swim up bars. The big kahunas of the beach. The chiefs of reefs and aperitifs. The maestros of all you can eat. Shout A to the I, these hoes are hella good, you gotta go.
I don't want to get sued by First Choice, but there you go. How was that for you, for just that 26 some odd seconds?
You know,
I think the appropriation of rap. It's like there's a message in rap. There's a short but full history.
Yeah.
Of various social stratas.
there was a
And then
message
just
in
get
that.
middle class
There was a
family.
message.
Yeah.
Oh.
You gotta go.
Look,
If
I'm
you want a
elusive.
good middle class holiday, then you go with First Choice.
Middle
Choice,
class
So
rap is shit.
that was the message. You know, I enjoyed the flow.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad flow. It's like, I suppose rap is a lot like that because you can have a song that's just chatting shit, but the beat's
Yeah.
really good, and then you have one where the words are really good, but the beat isn't as.
Do you think that husband met his wife at like a rap party or something like that? Do you think
No, I
he
think
showed
they're
her his
actors.
bars? Yeah, that suspension of disbelief. Jake, cheers.
I'm sorry,
I was going for their angle. But if you haven't seen the
They
advert,
met in
it's
Nando's.
yeah, most likely they're both waiting in the
works
takeaway
too.
queue. It's a black woman and a white male with their interracial children, mixed race children, and they're in this advert, and they're just this horrendous middle class rapping. But go Mahusiv, I suppose, if you're First Choicer. But yeah, I don't know. That advert I didn't sit well with
so
it.
cringy. I hate all the
Adverts are
adverts
shit
though. I hate
anyway.
all the adverts where they do the singing, and I particularly hate the ones where it's people that can't sing that are singing. You know,
Like
like
Halifax
that
adverts.
fucking, what was that guy? It was like a Ladbrokes advert or a William Hill advert, and he was like a security guard.
I was
and
the
then-
guy who chewed up the pen and lost his shit because they gave like money back to losers, and this is.
No,
That's another ridiculous one,
no, there's a lot of ridiculous adverts.
especially with the gambling one.
Anyone where they just break out into song and they're just like meant to be normal people, like that.
Yeah.
what was
Halifax.
Just Eat one. The Halifax one didn't annoy me as much.
Okay, well, I see you, baby. Chicken Madras.
Yeah, that one.
Chicken
Oh my
Madras.
god, I wanted
Oh,
to
yeah.
stab
Puns
that
in
woman by the
songs.
end. Yeah.
Advertising company.
Yeah, that's definitely going against your what's it called, your belief system, innit, where they just take your
Still,
Yeah.
if they offered me a bit of money for writing a
Yeah,
track,
you
then
can do a
I'd
bit of
write.
writing.
I'm reluctant to ever write.
but it'll only be for Deliveroo,
don't
innit? You've
tell
got
anyone.
integrity.
I'll pick someone and say, right, if they offer me, then I'll. Or if I think of a pun specific to them.
So now we've just gone on to another topic which I think is quite fun. Who would you sell out for? Like so-called selling out. Like if they offered you moolah, we're talking like life-changing. I never have to shit on a normal toilet again. It's Japanese toilet for the rest of my life. So like, what would you sell out? What product?
What do you have to do? Like, do you
Just
have
an
to-
advert, like
Burger King.
something
an
something
advert.
that you don't fuck with. But if they came to you and said like, do you eat Burger King?
I prefer Burger King to McDonald's, but I like to think my contribution would increase sales for Burger King and take people away from McDonald's. It's a small victory.
Okay.
That
What-
would be the only-
Were you gonna
thought
call,
about this before.
what exactly?
Burger
This seems
King
like
make decent burgers. Like
they do. What would you call your burger though? The Breaking Bad burger?
I'd have
Pete
to,
White's
I'd have
pun-
to think of a specific
The
pun.
Heisenberger.
Yeah.
The
is-
Heisenberg, nice.
If I was getting paid a big lump sum of money and they said, right, come up with something, you've got 6 months, I'd put everything else aside and just focus
Yeah.
on writing the best punning I could do. But yeah,
Burger King.
hypothetically, yeah, Burger King was.
On a freshly toasted pun bun.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
I like their products.
Okay, Burger King. What about you, Jake? Something that you just don't. I mean, it would be better if you don't fuck with them, so that when people say they see you like advertising the product, you've sold out. Do you
Or
know
be
what I
like
mean?
Britney Spears, where she was doing Pepsi ads and was pictured drinking Coke.
Yeah.
That's a
Surely
bit-
it must be an
It's a
exclusive
bit different,
thing.
though.
Yeah,
we all
you
know.
have to
We
be
all know
careful
Coke takes
about
bad,
that.
though. So, like, you know, she wasn't really in a bad situation there.
I don't know, man.
The world will forgive her.
It'd be
Tastes
cool,
cheaper.
though.
It tastes like they ain't got cocaine in it.
In Thailand and Laos, they have villages where, like, one village will sell Pepsi only, and the next
Yeah.
village will sell Coke. It's almost like you can see who got there the quickest.
Yeah.
as the representative.
They've got that as well. That almost like the huts where it's like we only sell Chang here, we only sell Singa here. Hey, what you want that Japanese tiger beer? Go over there, fucking. And you'd be like, shit, man, these guys are really picking their lanes. But
In
what
Laos,
product?
Obviously, they.
I don't know, man. Lilos, Purdy's.
Lilos.
I'm just saying.
You just do your purdy mouth joke.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
whatever.
Do you want a purdy mouth? Get Purdy's. In your mouth.
Doesn't seem like selling out.
No, to be honest, selling out. Like, you mean, okay, well,
Something that you would not fuck
Well,
with.
selling out would be going against your beliefs. And
Yeah.
going
I
with
see what
something
you're saying.
like,
Yeah, okay.
like advertising
You know.
cigarettes or something.
Like advertising a perfume or something like that.
Okay. If you
I'd
ever
need
see
to-
me advertising for the either the Department of the Home Office or whatever, or the Metropolitan Police or something like that, and I'm like, I am an advocate for the illegalization of cannabis. That would be me selling out. You know they've paid me life-changing fuck you money if you ever see me advertising the illegalization of cannabis.
I'm for the illegal. I'm for the.
I want it to be legalized, but in a controlled measure, like Amsterdam, in like America.
Or decriminalisation.
You got, like-
I'm not pro-legal with pot. I don't think they should legalise it.
Well, you don't think there should be
I think we should
dispensaries?
decriminalise every single drug
Decriminalise everything.
out there.
Decriminalisation means that you can have dispensaries,
You can have a certain amount on it,
and you can possibly grow a
there's-
plant or two at your house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's
believe
fine.
they should license it. You should, like a TV license, pay so much money a year to grow up to 4 or 5 plants for your personal use.
Yeah, I suppose. And that license will cover you for if you infringe outside of the rules,
Yeah,
maybe.
if you don't have a license, if you sell it or something like that, you can.
Yeah,
have
you
one.
could get points on it, like a driving license. You know,
I think that should be the way it is with life,
you've
though.
grown one too many plants, you've got 3 points on your weed license.
You were smoking it.
You've only had it for a year, so 3 more and you'll get banned.
You bought your plants
It
out.
budded early.
You bought your plants out of state.
One of the seeds fell out the other plants into it. And it sprouted.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't want
You
to
do
hear
not have a
excuses.
permit for growing in your garden, sir.
In Holland, I think you're allowed to grow up to 4 plants.
Yeah, yeah.
in a house, but
And in Paraguay, is it? Paraguay, they have a system like that as well.
Uruguay
so,
is
yeah.
the first country to legalise
Yeah.
it completely.
Legal.
Yeah, Portugal is decriminalised.
in America, it's like America is not federal; it's state legal.
Yeah, which is
So they're
just,
still going against federal, and the Republicans now
There's
making
some
it
dickhead
difficult
countries, isn't it?
for people who grow and sell pot to bank the money.
yeah.
So they're putting them in a quandary where they have to launder money, legal money, to bypass the rule that they've come up with to make them uncomfortable. So they're breaking federal law.
Yeah, well, there's regularly some of the aforementioned shit shows I watch, like police busting into like marijuana dispensaries because they're there on a federal license.
Why do you torment yourself? It's like,
Because do you watch like Storage Wars and stuff like that? Have you-
No, I'm not gonna lie. I've seen 1 or 2. Is
what's
that?
it about Game of Thrones you were saying? I don't know how people...
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. Like you can come in from work. It's like a 21-minute episode, including
Okay.
adverts.
Is that the one with
Hour
containers,
for
right?
Game of Thrones,
American
and you're not gonna
version
watch
has
what you. I've
5
never watched
adverts.
Storage Wars and been like, that was so good. I need to watch 5 more. Like I've never
You
felt the
can
need
do
to
it. When it
binge
comes
watch.
out periodically, you can watch Game of Thrones like
Yeah,
weekly.
of course.
Like,
but I'm not gonna catch up. It's like 6 seasons.
7.
60 hours of TV. You can just
60
binge watch it on
hours.
weekend.
No, mate, no. I'd have to be like held up in a like you know when you go to Thailand, Laos, and you're trying to do the whole thing.
Yeah.
You might be stuck in a hostel for a while. If you've got like a little DVD player,
Yeah.
you could just go out there and these motherfuckers on one fucking DVD would give you a whole 3 seasons of it. So you know you just got a
Yeah.
little pack and you go through Game of Thrones while you travel, but. Mate, there's a lot of life going on in this country right now. Do I have to? Like, Black Mirror is amazing. I haven't even seen that yet. I've just got it saved in
It
a
is,
little
it is.
Oh, this
hard
series,
drive wine cooler. I know.
First and last episode.
I think I've seen 4 episodes.
The
of
Black
the last
Museum and the USS Callister.
USS Callister.
USS Callister is amazing. Yeah.
I don't think I've seen Black Museum.
But Inside Number 9 as well, we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
That is a show I highly recommend. Great series. Reece Shearsmith and Steve Pemberton, 2 of the finest comedy actors. And the serious stuff as well is good. That's my
Yeah.
little plug.
Yeah. What are
else?
you watching currently, other than Storage Wars? There's nothing wrong with Storage
Started
Wars, by the
rewatching
way.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine briefly.
Okay.
Occasionally watching Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of comedy specials here and there. I've not really watched much in ages. Although I feel like that's not true, but I can't remember what I've watched.
You've got enough watching in your mind, you mean? Like, in your mind, you know you've seen enough, so it's not like you're
Seen
lacking.
things. Oh, Black Mirror I was watching. Stranger Things series 2 or 3 or whatever it's
2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2.
That
Yeah,
divided
yeah.
people. I thought it was really strong.
I really liked it, except for one episode, which I think is
I haven't seen the
apparently-
second season yet.
Yeah, I did not give a fuck. I imagine that was setting up other stuff, but you haven't seen the second season yet?
No, yeah, it's downloaded. Listen, I just had to buy a new 2 terabyte hard drive. Just download a bunch of the shows that I'd watched already that I needed to complete, like from season 3, episode 7 onwards. I'd do that. Just pull it to the side, throw them all on the hard drive, and I'm like, which one do I start watching first? Because I'm currently in the middle of watching 2 other things. But yeah, I don't know. Like TV, I don't like sitting down all the time because I do a lot of moving around, and then when I sit down, I do become a bit impatient. So if I'm not doing something active, well, I don't know, GTA maybe that's probably my biggest vice. I play a lot of GTA online.
But you can do other stuff while you're watching. Like I draw when I'm watching telly. Like, I find
Now that is,
interesting.
yeah,
Like, I can listen to it and like look up every now and again. Like
Yeah.
that just defeats the purpose of the actual program for me.
I
No,
lack
if it's
silent
something
hobbies.
Yeah.
I can't really practice any of my hobbies while I'm watching TV. I
If
kind of
you
like practice stand-up while I'm watching TV.
well, not
Heckling the show. Heckling the show.
or the keyboard.
I don't know. Certain, if you've seen the show many times over, you can watch
Yeah,
it.
you could.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't watch a new film while I'm drawing that. Or a subtitle film, that would be like.
Go into the
Was it-
cinema with the
I was going to say, imagine people taking their tablets to the cinema. That'd be worse.
yeah.
I think I've seen a lot of people buying what's it called? Those I don't know if they're those new tablets. I think they're either the Kindles or it's got like a little massive screen on the back. Or it might just be the iPhone case or something like that. But I've seen like everybody in the tube in the morning has got a tablet now. And it's a bit weird because you think mobile phones you probably change up every year, every 2 years. Tablet game is what, every 2-3 years? How long do they fucking last
3.5
for?
years.
Yeah.
Have you got a tablet?
No, yeah, I do. I bought one
Have
from
you?
Argos for like 90 quid. Alba. So very basic. I just watch Netflix on it.
I was gonna say they all probably have like Arcos have one now, Sony have one now. Like it's like the Discmans back in the day. Like everyone, like you go to Argos, you'd be like, why am I going to pay £39 for a Sony Discman?
Do you remember the Discman?
Oh yeah, I have one. Yeah.
The mini
Classic.
Discman?
Mini disc, yeah, I had a mini disc, but listen,
sort of
you want to
late
further
90s,
back? I had a Walkman, mate.
I had a
alright?
Walkman.
I had a
Yeah,
Walkman.
my mum bought one of the first.
They
ones,
actually were
it's
better than a
90
Discman in terms of sound quality. You could actually jog with a Walkman and it wouldn't skip. Whereas
quid. When
Yeah.
if you're running for a bus, you just wouldn't hear like certain lyrics.
They come out about 84 or 85. And my mum paid
Walkman?
Yeah, my mum paid £90 back then, a shitload of money for a Sony Walkman. It had a silver case and orange fluffy like for the headphones.
Yeah,
Nice.
the Nintendo Game Boy when that first came out, that was probably like
Yeah.
120 quid.
Yeah.
I love that.
I know.
Saw that.
Big box for just a nice little. Like as a child, you just retard
Tetris.
that box.
I used to play DuckTales on it.
They
All
brought
the
that back.
time.
Listen, that DuckTales on the Game Boy was on the SNES and the NES.
Yeah.
They just emulated it in 3 times. So even though you'd clocked it before on the Game Boy, you'd be like, "But it's in color, Mum, please." But you played it
Oh,
already.
this wasn't in color. This was on the
Game Boy, yeah.
original Game Boy. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was when I last sort of played with games or owned a console. Was the Game
Around
Boy.
that time.
Yeah, I've never had a PlayStation or anything.
So you never got a Super Nintendo?
Never had a
No.
Mega Drive.
No.
Wow. So you stopped at
Amiga.
Game Boy.
I stopped- the Game Boy was last.
What
thing
was
I
the
had
one
when I was
before
about
it?
18 or 19. I just played Tetris on it. I don't know. Was there a handheld Nintendo that come after? I don't know.
You're probably either thinking of the Game Gear or the Nintendo
DS.
Advance. DS. There was a DS. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I thought they came out after. The Game
It
Boy was
did,
very
yeah.
basic. It was like.
Yeah.
The Game Boy was classic.
Then
yeah.
the Game Boy Advance and then the Game Boy
greeny
Color.
Ski.
But you can buy
screen.
cartridges with like 10 of the top games. Like
Yeah.
from the 80s.
And they said it was bad for your eyes, but for some reason my eyes were fine watching the Game Boy
Do
thing.
you remember that
Mind you, I
attachment
squint.
you could get for it? It was like an attachment. It clipped onto the top.
Oh, the magnifier with the light.
And the magnet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had one of those Casio TVs when I was a security guard in the sort of mid-20s, and the screen was about that big. It was about that big altogether.
Oh, no.
Oh yeah, I've seen
Yeah,
those.
yeah.
It's like constantly.
Yeah.
Used to watch films on that. The screen was like smaller than that.
If you think about it, people just were entertained with like now we've got 4K, right? And everything's HD, but people were entertained with like, I mean, the Game Boy was one color, right? It was just black on a green screen,
Yeah.
and then used to have black and white movies with no sound. Like people were fucking bored before they came up with that horse running in that thing. You think about it, you had a whole cinema of people watching that horse run
Yeah.
around. Oh my days! What did they do back then?
I think
sat in
Kill each
silence.
other.
clearly they just built pyramids and Stonehenges and shit, you know?
No, I think people more, I don't know, they had too much time on their hands to think, and that's why more trouble was caused. It's almost like when back in the day, there's a myth that like we're doing better now, we've got more free time, and you're like, well, that's not true. We're sort of working 40, 50 hours a week, commuting 20. We've got little time for ourselves. But back in the day, we'd hunt for 2 hours, and then we'd have all day. But we had our threats, you know. There was like predators and things.
You say
So
we.
basically,
You say we. There's a
I think it
few.
was civilization, and then they had all that free time, so they had sex, and then the population grew, and then they were like, oh shit, it's too many people, so they invented war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you say we, like there was a few of those cunts who were just like, I don't want to go hunting today, my foot's tired, I'm going to sit back here. And he's just like taking all the drinking water and just washing himself. They're like, there is shower water over there by the tree palms. Like, I don't want to walk over to the tree palm to shower. And you're just thinking, we got to kill this guy, we have to. And then also, at night time, you'd probably start hearing shit rustling in the trees like monkeys and wild boar and you're like, what the fuck? Hey, honey, come here. No, we might not make it, okay? Just in case this happens, I'll run out there and try and kill it. If I don't come back, just stay in a tree long enough to have this baby. He's got to continue our bloodline. But yeah, it was a different world back then, and now we've got Netflix. Everyone's safe.
When I was in Thailand and South America, just the noises you heard. And for a while, I thought the gecko was actually a bird. I was like,
What?
bird is that? I could hear, eh-oh, eh-oh.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck is that? But they're everywhere. You can see them.
Yeah.
You can't always hear the ones that you can see. But
They were cool. I had like 3 or 4. Have you seen the Geico advert with the small little gecko?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like literally you see one of them just standing on like your laptop or just somewhere on your like table. You'd be like, hey, and you try to put your hand in, it'll run away, and then before you know it, another one's already on your bed. You're like, fine, I'll go with this one. And then you just play with gecko. They were everywhere. That didn't bother me much, but the mosquitoes would fuck the shit out of anyone that I was hanging out with. For some reason, I barely got hit.
the geckos were just, they were on them.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
that's
I
what.
pulled in the train station in Thailand. There's a wall with about 200 little geckos on it. And it's just like
Oh, that's
swarms.
cool.
Yeah,
And you're like, they must eat thousands of them every night.
yeah,
So they're lifesavers. They're like, I don't know if they're
definitely.
revered in any way in Thailand. If there's like some kind of maybe some animist beliefs,
There might be
that, you know,
because they're
Yeah.
Buddhist, right? For the most part, Buddhists
yeah,
and
so they
Taoists.
wouldn't harm the animals, even
Yeah.
even if they were up against a scorpion or a snake. They're not meant to do a harm.
No.
Yeah, you and your lady would love Thailand, man. Oh,
Oh, Thailand
Yeah.
is
you would
amazing.
fucking love
Yeah.
Thailand. Just the thought of like, what am I going to do today? Okay, maybe at 11 I'll jump on that bus and go rock climbing on actual fucking rocks. I might bungee jump at about 1 o'clock. It depends. I'll have the pad thai then because that's light. And then, there's a pool party later on in the evening. I'll probably have a nap then. Actually, no, I don't want to go to the pool party. I can do that anytime. I'm going to go on my bike and see this mountain. You just, whatever you want to do, you
I don't
can
think
do
it'd
it.
be any of those things, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Well, you got a driving license, right?
Yeah.
You can definitely ride a
I don't.
moped.
Do you know what? Bungee jumping has always been like a thing that I've never ever wanted to do.
Me too.
Yeah.
I think it's ridiculous.
You, do you know what I mean?
It is.
I just think.
Do you feel like that might
skydiving
change?
would be cool? I think I'd go skydiving.
Yeah, skydiving anytime. Bungee jumping.
Bungee jumping, I'm just like, why the fuck would I want to jump off a bridge and then think it's over and then have to get shot back up again?
Two of my Spanish friends did it in Amsterdam, but they did a tandem one where they both tied
Tandem
together.
bungee jump?
Yeah, and there's two inherent risks, especially if doing a tandem, is that you'll smack heads, which happened to them. One of them was like near concussed, and the other one was all like, and the other one said my eyes hurt afterwards, and it can detach your retinas. Like you're being pulled, and your eyes are like there, and suddenly like,
Aren't you supposed to
It's
close
rare, I'm not saying
your
it happens all the
eyes?
time,
Aren't
it's
you
Yeah.
supposed to
supposed to be a
close your eyes?
yeah, it's like when you sneeze, they say you can't sneeze with your eyes
You
open.
can, there's videos on YouTube that prove it. Yeah, there's loads of people that can do it, yeah.
These people
Okay,
just got
but
magic.
it
You're not
can do
trying
damage
hard
to your
enough.
eyes. It can- 'cause you sneeze at that. No, I'm not gonna.
Yeah,
I've copied one thing I've seen on the internet. And I was like, that was stupid. It was Dirty Sanchez. Very simple thing. Put elastic band around their forehead.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And just plucked it. That fucking hurts.
it does.
You know what hurts?
One of the most painful things. I was like, you
When
idiot.
people flick your ears after you just come out in the winter, if you're coming into work and
Yeah.
like it's really cold,
Oh,
and you
I've
just
done that to me for ages. Like.
oh,
That is
it's
super painful.
horrendous. I mean, some people have like really bony fingers, or they've just got a unique flicking technique. But if they get you hard, your ear's going to be hurting for at least 2 hours. It just never goes down, no matter what you do to it. Might be exaggerating 2 hours, but it fucking hurts.
But yeah, this thing is
one thing: don't sneak up on me and do that. If someone hits me, I don't see who it is.
Have you seen the video of the guy that he's walking past a bin, and this guy in this bin just pops up in a costume? He's like, ah, and the guy just smacks him. I love that.
Deserve no less.
There's videos of like, you know, people just getting knocked out. Like if you
I watched a couple of them the other night.
Yeah.
Knockout compilations. They are quite funny.
This guy's walking down a subway with his girlfriend, and two thugs. One of them flicks a cigarette at him, and it hits his back and hits his girl. So all of a sudden he turns around, and the guy like who's leaning against the wall flicked it. He goes, "What are you doing?" And it's just like, what? And he's just like, "What?" And his girl's holding him back. He's like, "What are you doing?" And then both guys stand up. He goes, "No." And then he just lays one of them out, and he never gets up. And then the other guy, he punches him as well. He gets up, and he's like, "What?" His girlfriend's pushing him away, looking over at his friend. His friend's still ain't up, and he's like slapping him on the face, like, "Hey mate, come on, get up! Hey, get up!" So that first guy who got hit got all the rage. Then that second guy was just like, "I'm now worried about my girl now, so I'm just going to put you down quickly. Bam, go help your friend." And he walked off, mate. What a G. But yeah, I love seeing those instant karma videos.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because it happens really quick.
I saw one, it was just a prison riot. And it just looked crazy. Everyone was fighting everyone. And then this guy appears at the top of these stairs, right? And a few of the people that are fighting sort of run to the bottom of the stairs. And then he walks down the stairs, and then everyone else in the prison just like fucking backs against the wall. And he's just running and chasing. I'm not even, it must have been about 20 guys that this guy was just like this, and they were all just shitting it. No, you saw him hit one bloke, and the bloke just got laid out straight away. But like all the rest of them just like that. I mean, what did this guy do? Like,
But you know, I think it's the reaction to seeing someone getting knocked out.
No.
It's a horrible thing,
They.
like, I've seen someone get knocked out next to me. It's like, fuck.
No, they all ran before he knocked this guy out. Like they were all.
They knew
ahead
what was
of it.
coming.
Yeah, they knew. And
This guy
there's
just
one
had
guy
a big
thought,
one in.
like, if we just couldn't get away, he just go.
Like if all 20 joined together, they could take it.
Well, you'd think so, yeah, but
You'd think so, but he's probably one of those guys
he was
that
in
can
the
just...
Punisher. It's like,
Have you seen that show, The Punisher?
I think
yeah, I saw him in the Daredevil one where he takes out all those guys in the corridor.
Oh, I think I saw
Yeah.
that clip. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you not seen Daredevil?
Yeah, I've not seen.
You've got
any of the Marvel
You need
shows.
to watch season
Or
1 at
DC shows. I've not
least
seen either.
for the acting.
Did you know Daredevil's ex-girlfriend? Right, used to
Electra?
work- I'm not going to do the pun. Daredevil's ex-girlfriend used to work in a university. She was Electra.
Oh, okay.
I
I didn't know you was actually going to do a job. I was just...
I was going to lay off them tonight, but then there was a niche one there. Like
Throw them out.
fans.
What's it called? They did meet in Columbia University. Have you been there? You've been to New York, right?
Oh, Columbia in... I thought you meant like...
In Columbia.
I have no puns, mate.
Medellin,
I have no
Jamaica.
puns. You're not going to hear any puns from me. I'm not that good with them. Actually, I've got one pun, I think.
He studied law at Columbia, did he? Or
Yeah.
his character, yeah.
He tried to, anyway.
Well, he's a lawyer, isn't he?
Yeah. But I mean, he tried to study law at Columbia.
Oh, right.
Is that
He-
because
he was-
Justice
he's
is
busy
blind?
boning Electra. She was much of a distraction. That's why most guys shouldn't really have girlfriends when they're in university at the highest levels. Like when you're going to law, maybe tell your girlfriend you need the night off, but she'd be like, "No, Matty, I know you've got a test tomorrow, but I want to see you." And she's just dangerous with that English accent.
And he can't fight crime, you know, while he's with her. And
So you'd think
Destined to fail.
some women, and I think, well, not even some. I think most. I think women are there to make men better. Do you know what I mean? So, in many ways, even though he did fuck around with her, it made him a better person in the end. Because, like you said, he became a lawyer.
yeah.
But most women do elevate men to their best position, which is where they really should be. You know, at their best position. But most men are lazy until they like a girl. They realize, wait a minute, you need a car to take her to the dance. Damn it, I need a job. And then the whole summer is spent him fixing up cars. I don't know. I'm just
Just to get
imagining.
laid.
I'm just imagining. What's his name? Martin McFly Senior.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
I watched some of them recently. I think it's Back to the Future 2. incredibly dated.
Yeah.
It's like for a futuristic film.
Aren't we past the date? Aren't we past the date now that the future was anyway?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
last year, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No, 2015 was it?
Was
the
it?
year?
I thought it
Yeah.
was.
2015. Everyone was. It was like 30 years since.
And Blade Runner is
Yeah, we're nearly there.
yeah.
We might make.
The original Blade Runner was set in what 2025, 2022, something like that. Am I right?
Yeah.
Not 2029 because
2019 maybe.
What was 2029?
It's
hang on, no,
years.
because
The way you just said that, I was like, oh shit.
But is
I'd have to get my
2049
affairs
the
in
actual
order.
year
It's
that
20
Blade Runner 2 is set in? 'Cause I heard it's
No,
something
no.
different.
I heard, and this was from like a social media post that there's 2,049 specific scenes in the entire movie. I haven't seen the film yet.
Of people just
Got it
staring
ready
into
to
the
watch.
distance. Pensive. I haven't seen it, but I've heard that it's pretty much that. But I'm going to say something controversial. I thought Blade Runner was alright.
Well, the first one.
Yeah, it's alright. And maybe I need to watch it again. It was alright.
It's
beautifully shot.
It's
and
just
a
yeah, it's
great
beautifully
scene.
shot, and then there's just the message behind the entire movie, really. And if you can see the new modern day sex dolls, this film it's just showed me like any movie that I watch, other than Terminator, which is the nightmare. But anything's possible in a movie, and sometimes when you watch the movie, maybe this is their artistic reference. You know, like when you like this has an artist's impression of what this building will look like, based on what the architects or structural
A lot
engineers
of
have
it's
shown
Tokyo,
them.
isn't it? Like
Very
it's
Tokyo-esque.
based
That
on
is like very the future.
But I'm against the whole sex robot thing's fucking ridiculous.
Why?
It just is. But if I was to have
As
a
opposed
sex
to what?
robot, it would be Daryl Hannah
Ah, okay,
from Blade Runner.
fair enough.
That would be
I
it.
got a feeling that the Daryl Hannah model, the
As long as she came in a mermaid edition.
I was gonna say you're gonna have you're gonna have
Into
you're
a
quite possibly gonna have like people want movie versions, isn't it? So there's gonna be like you said the Daryl Hannah, the Kill Bill, Frozen. I don't know. You might be able to just because the way we've got this new 3D printing and what's it called CRISPR, where you can manipulate DNA, supposedly, allegedly.
How long before we have robot actors though? Like, that's going to piss off Hollywood, isn't it? That's like,
well,
you
you
A
just build
few of them are already in Hollywood, my
when
friend.
they get- yeah.
you'll have to get past Uncanny Valley first,
Yes.
and then maybe. But
For those of you out there
As
who
long
don't know
as
what
Sort of
Uncanny Valley
invested in it,
is,
isn't it? What's
Listen,
Uncanny Valley?
Uncanny Valley is
Uncanny
like
Valley.
when you look at when something looks close enough to convince you that it's something, but something's off about it that makes you feel uneasy. So you know when you look at like a robot's face and
Right,
it looks
yeah.
kind of realistic, but there's something about it that's just like, that's weird.
or when you look at like a
Maybe
valley in the
latex or
distance
something.
and it looks like
If it's latex or if it's like, I don't know.
yeah.
It's like when you see an actor who's like played a role and then has to play him 20 years later and he's got the makeup on. You're like, nah.
Yeah.
They should have got an actor who looked like it would have been better.
Yeah, or stuck with a puppet and not CGI Yoda.
Yeah, it's true. But what if like this the robot doll, like it feels normal? It feels like a human being. Like, have you seen the program Humans?
No.
Jack Whitehall's.
Gemma Chan. I met her.
Yeah.
I was cleaning an apartment that she moved into.
Okay, cool.
She's a nice lady.
No creepy ending to the story at all.
No.
Oh, damn it. She's in a program called Humans, where she plays like an android. Very iRobot-esque. Like, it starts at like in the beginning. No spoilers. This is ages ago. She's in a massive warehouse with loads of other models, and they're all just standing there. And they're real android people. Like, they look like real people. And she gets activated and chosen to go and live with the family. So yeah, she's like a more maid, but kind of like the model is like of a young woman anyway. So obviously, you know, you can have models that looks like Mrs. Doubtfire or whatever, but this idea of they're going to get to a point where it's no longer creepy. There's no Uncanny Valley where they can just like the way they do skin grafts and stuff like that. Then they make a new collagen, which is like we can now replace human skin. So if you've got burns and stuff like that, once that's made, I mean, that's it. You've now got a skin to go on the robot, and the robot's just got to have a decent body temperature.
You gotta get the eyes down as well.
Listen,
the
look
eyes
at
will be the hardest.
no contact lenses, dude, man. So you've got dolls and stuff like that.
Yeah,
be able to fill their eyes with a certain.
You can.
We're gonna get there, mate. Elon Musk has already has to
Well,
shoot.
Apple won't do it because it needs to be the windows to the soul.
Yeah.
I've started to feel it as soon as he said Apple. Oh God,
Isn't
you're on your Steve Jobs.
Elon Musk? Is Elon Musk against robots? I think
because he's trying to shoot us into space. He
him
knows
and
that.
Zuckerberg, I can't remember. Him and Zuckerberg have got this like rivalry.
Yeah, I love it.
One of them was like.
Elon's
for,
gonna
one was
win.
against.
Which one's Lex Luthor?
Oh,
Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg. Every time.
They were both played by Jesse Eisenberg.
True, yeah.
Elon
The
Musk.
Social Network is a far better film.
Yeah,
More villainy.
yeah, but I hated the hype around that movie when it first came out.
What, Social
It
Network?
was sickening. Have you seen the Facebook film? I was like, why are you talking to me like that for? Like, I've been late with your fucking burger order. I don't work here for a start. But it's like, it's ridiculous. Like, people would just, they would, out of nowhere, because they're on Facebook, would be like, are you part of it? Have you seen it yet? Dude, man, to think it started from that now, how much money has he got? And everyone took their own piece of that movie away from it. But I was just like, if you go online, his best friend still hasn't really been, you know, like compensated for helping him build this thing. The other two guys do have a point for trying to sue him, which is why he's never denied, you know what I'm saying, them to keep trying with this court case. They got moolah, you must imagine. If anyone else wanted to get in a court case with those two twins, they'll be like, listen, your parents have got money for years. What? Let's settle out of court. Yeah, we did steal your idea. But Zuckerberg was like, you know, you've still got like this subpoena you got to answer. He's like, I'll go to court one day. I'm too busy working on this trampoline system. It's like, it's just weird. I don't know. That movie, the hype that came around it was so, I don't know, forceful because everyone was on Facebook. I feel like it's going to get even worse with the new Tinder film.
A Tinder film or a Twitter film.
I think Tinder would be more because it's a rom-com, it's a dating movie, isn't it? They met each other on Tinder. You know Bobby Lee, the comedian?
Yeah, I've heard of him, yeah.
His girlfriend is absolutely a smoke show. She's so beautiful. She's from the Philippines. She was in a national team, I think, for swimming. So you can tell she's an athlete, but also she's really, really hot. They met on Tinder. So I believe that that's like a real life version of like what this potential Tinder movie is. And now you've also got the 50 First Dates, catfishing, whatever these shows are, naked dating.
Catfish series a few times.
So we need a good movie to just
Undateables.
level. Have you seen Naked Dating, by the way?
I've seen like
Parts of it.
Yeah.
Up to the moment when my dinner was
Obviously,
about to leave
when
my
you
chest.
see the words naked dating on the TV guide, you click on it, don't
You would hope.
They don't even have a red triangle on this shit anymore.
Exactly, I know. Where's the leaves, man? Where's the leaves? No leaves. You're going to see everything. Ugh.
It started with
weird.
Keith Chegwin. Remember when he did that?
What?
Keith Chegwin went like, past the level of decency. He did a show where he was basically naked. It was a quiz.
No, he didn't.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
No, he
yeah.
That was
didn't.
Channel 5, yeah.
Tell me you were sitting behind the
don't wanna
desk.
see it. It's like,
Tell me you're sitting behind the desk.
no, he was full
Starkers.
display, yeah.
Oh,
It was one of
God.
those moments in his obituary when he passed away. Like, it was like, oh god,
Yeah.
traumatized
We knew
generation.
we knew Keith
Forget
was
that
circling
one.
the drain when he did that show. That's fucked. Poor
That's
chaps.
what he'd sell out for.
Although obviously he went down in estimation, everyone's estimation, because he was stealing people's jokes and
Yeah.
getting all arsey with people on Twitter for pointing that out.
He stole
blocked them all.
whose
He
joke?
stole loads of people's jokes.
Yeah.
He set up his own site, which was a pay site, or like a paid app, and just basically put other people's jokes on there as his own.
Yeah.
That's dark.
Yeah.
None of mine though, bastard.
Is there a book out there like to those who can't, you know, to those who can't, was it to those who can't teach or something like that? Like in terms of comedy, like if you can't write a joke to save your fucking life, this is how you steal a joke to save your career. Do you know what I mean? Like the Carlos Mencia, Simon Calavizides, whoever else name you want to throw into this list, but like Chegwin, yeah. Is there a way that, like, I don't know, is it a personal choice, or is there like somebody actually says to you, hey, by the way, like if you find you're dying, these are just open mics, man. Just take the best joke and then I'll take you. Like I don't know how that would work, but it's weird. It seems to be like.
Well, if I go before my time, I hope like people will still do my jokes. I'd rather they were told even slightly plagiarised. Like everyone gets an allowance, they can have 2 of my jokes.
Oh,
That's
nice.
the thing about your comedy, though. Peter. I've got to respect you with that, because your comedy is very, what's the word? It's so palatable that it's not hard to decipher. Whereas with, for instance, if you're too verbose, if you've got too much of an elaborate setup, no one's going to be able to go to work and tell that joke. So if your joke can easily go on like anything from, you know, like when you go to seaside resorts and you go in a souvenir shop, you've got the personalised number plates, the certain key rings, a plate.
If it can go on a T-shirt.
If your thing can go, that's what I'm saying. If your thing can go anywhere in there, do you know what I'm saying? Like, because they've got those ones which is like the Lord's Prayer, but really it's a joke.
Yeah.
Then you know it can exist anywhere, and that's why Tim Vine, year after year, is slamming that Edinburgh Award, because he's got jokes that literally
He's got
can go in a
thousands,
book, can go on a T-shirt, can go.
I'm thinking of publishing it. Once I've got 1,000 jokes, I might publish 500 of the best ones as a joke book.
Yeah.
Once they're, if
Like
they're
the Guinness
well
Book of
known by
Records, I
that
like it.
Yeah.
point. It's going to take me another 2-3 years till I got 1,000 jokes.
You're getting there,
Hopefully
bro.
Doing
You're
it at a
getting
good rate
there.
though.
Yeah, so like last year I wrote 280, but this year I've written like 7 this month, and I'm like, hopefully I'll flower later in the year.
Yeah.
Or better.
Oh,
Like, I'll be in Edinburgh, I'll be doing some gigs around the place and come up with stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's what I like to do. If I could tour, if I was a little richer and I could just go around the country and tour where I wanted, I'd stay in the place and I'd learn a bit about the town and then tailor a couple of minutes to that area.
that's the ultimate goal, though, isn't it? If you're set up to actually go, like, across the UK or wherever you're going to go, you can get a GoPro, you can get a mate to go with you, you can document it, and that could be like your little blog / documentary of, all right, so I'm in Bath. I'm hoping to have a bath because, to be perfectly honest, I was on that coach for too long. Excuse me, I'm looking for a bath. Well, you're in the right place. No, I'm serious. I need a bath. And then you're in Bath, just exploring the town. You see the old, But yeah, that's a good idea. I think Joe Jacobs is going to start doing a web show. I'm sorry if I've released that too early, Joe. He's got a web series coming up where he is going about places. It sounds very, very interesting, so keep your eyes out for that. But yeah, man, I think every comedian is going to be able to do that. With the technology, they're just going to have their phone there, put it on the side, go Instagram live. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's easier to bring people closer to you now.
Yeah, I like Instagram. I find that a pretty good form of, promoting myself.
Yeah. Nelson, what did I call you? Nelson Mandela.
Mandala,
Yeah.
I do. My mandalas are on there. And Pete White 72.
How long does it take you
Yes, good plug.
to do those mandalas? Because I know you put up this. Is it like the stencil first, and then like a tattoo, then you go over again?
The sort of uncoloured in bit takes about an hour, 2 hours to draw something, say that big, and then to colour it in a couple of hours. So I can do a big one with like multitude of patterns in about 30 hours.
Okay, 30 hours works. That's just almost like a day and a bit.
That's where I spend my time. When I'm drawing mandalas, that's when I can, have TV on in the background and switched off.
Zone out and just do it, yeah.
I got that sort of multitask ability.
Therapeutic.
Yeah.
Rick is doing his clay models as well, and he's actually sending them over to like stateside and shit like that, Canada and US. So I don't know how much that shipping is, but my man's making money from just like that hobby. If I could, man, if I was artistic enough, man, I'd be making 3D models of like, BB, what's his name? BB-8?
BB-8.
Yeah, BB-8 with just magnets, so he actually does hover. I'd be like, listen, don't roll him too far because he will hit the wall and fall off, okay? But yeah, I would like to just, I don't know, something that is topical, and then I could be like, I can make a little version of
The thing
that.
is, 3D printers now, when I was in Barcelona a few years ago, they had this thing where you can take a picture of you, a 3D picture, and then make a little figure of you. But it was about £50 to £100 then for that thing, so I imagine it's getting cheaper.
Yeah.
So send in a picture of you standing with a microphone and sell that as merchandise once it's cheap enough.
Yeah,
It doesn't have to be great quality, it can be something that you can paint.
yeah.
Paint your own comedian statue.
I've got a 3D pen. It was only 30 quid.
Oh, one of those things where you can just go like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's pretty cool. You can draw on paper and then you draw up in the air and then you can draw along and then you can just do whatever the fuck you want.
And it just
it
stays, it
draws,
solidifies.
well, it dries basically. So you draw up, you hold it for about 3 seconds and it dries
It's
because
fine.
it's plastic. Comes through the gun heats it up, it comes out as a liquid and then it draws up. You can just draw little fucking spirals in the air. and
People
stuff.
cuss the
What about
vape.
that one?
It's good
Yeah.
fun. Like,
People
it's-
cuss the vape culture, but I mean, without vaporizing and making it small enough, we would have not come up with ideas like this.
I can
Yeah,
come up with
well,
a 3D mandala.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, mate.
It's,
But that, I think, would make your brain hurt after a while, because,
Do like just
It's
loads
hard.
of layers.
It's
like,
hard.
Going around that way,
yeah, that, or you can just put it into a 3D printer and just see it just like,
yeah. But you got to buy the machine, you got to buy the ink.
Well, that's what I am when I draw. Like when I do my pointillist pictures, I'm like a very slow printer. It's going
All the dots.
constantly like that. Yeah.
because some people are going to go for computers, but other people are going to go, digital, and other people are just going to, like you say, go just analog. Like my tattoo was bamboo, and there was just a guy just standing there with a needle, just like, he was going ham, and I was just like, ow, 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 ow. Okay, that feels normal, but it feels,
I'm an analog artist. I think that always.
Yeah. It's weird that we're all becoming like, we're like the art attack / how-to generation / it will never work generation, where it's like, as well as doing the adult grown up, going to work, whatever, or paying our rent, we've still got this artistic drive, whether it's the comedy or it's like other stuff, we still want to just take our time and become creative in some way. We don't want to just be, I don't know, lazy. Some people have like an artistic bone in their body, and it's through Minecraft or Lego, I don't know. But human beings, I think in general, because we're not hunted, we just want to do something with this energy. Other than Tinder.
I'd like more Lego in my life.
Yes.
It's not cheap though, is it?
No,
No.
it's not. But I
For the
do
actual
feel
blocks, it's expensive.
The guy from IKEA passed away, by the way.
he did.
And you know, his coffin was long and narrow because he was a lanky guy. Yeah.
Did you not get
A lanky guy.
lanky?
Yeah. No, that face
gonna
was
be
a
a
face
couple
of someone that got that joke. I saw all of the obvious ones on Twitter and Facebook. You know, flat packed coffin, anything to do with Alan Key. Everyone's in pieces. You know, they're all quite good. But I didn't think of anything original. I was trying to do something with, because his name is an anagram of I can't even remember what it was, man. Like a raving something, a raving park or something like that. And that's, I kind of like feel like it's an appropriate description of IKEA.
Raving Park.
Like-
Raving Park or something.
What's his name?
Ingvar Kamprad. Ingvar
Okay, and he's Swedish, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Because Lego is from Denmark, and I was going to try and make a
Is
connection
Lego
to the
from
two.
Denmark, not Sweden?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it?
It's
Oh.
just like Lurpak.
It's from Legot, which means let's play. They shortened it Legodt. They left out the DT.
Blood.
Wise
They got you
decision.
hooked early though, like McDonald's with the Happy Meals. They got you on Duplo when you were like barely able to like stop eating whatever you picked up and put in your mouth. You're like, Duplo's fun, and then all of a sudden like, wait until you get into the next grade. We made it smaller. They're like,
Better. And they made movies that are amazing.
yeah, do you know what? That animation
I've
is
not
never
seen the
good.
Batman one, but
No, I heard it's
Batman
good
one's
though.
okay. It's not as good as Lego though.
The Ninja Go. My nephew's already been on them, but the fact is that I think whenever you treat children's like, I don't know, that's why Disney own everything. They're like the Taco Bell of like movie industry, and that's a reference from Demolition Man. Taco Bell starts owning all the food chains. Like when you treat the kids shit right, then you probably do end up having a lasting audience, and I think that's why animation is still the best thing to go and watch.
Oh, yeah.
Whether I'm high or sober, I can watch animation. Like some things I have to be high to watch.
I watched Moana recently. Have you seen
I
Moana?
haven't
No,
seen
not
that
yet.
one
Oh, so good. There's one song I had in my fucking head was Jermaine Clement from Flight of the Conchords. He does a song called Shiny, which is just so catchy. It's such a good song. And Dwayne Johnson is brilliant as
Right.
Maui. It's a really good film. Songs are good. The animation is incredible. The story's good. It's fun. Yeah,
I've
one
not
of
seen
the
a
best
bad.
Disney films
I've not
I've
seen a
seen.
bad animation since like Shrek 5.
Is there a Shrek?
Was there a Shrek?
I don't know, but I'm just
I
trying
know
to
what
say.
you mean though.
Shrek
The
was-
latest
Puss in
Shrek.
Boots
Shrek's
4.
most are overrated. The first one was okay.
First one was alright. Second one was better than the first one, I thought.
Yeah, but and they're apparently making Toy Story 4.
Which
How thought they did that already?
I can't hate on that.
They should leave it alone. They made Toy Story 3 about 10 years ago.
Yeah,
It was
okay.
perfect.
Oh, just leave it alone. That's
Yeah.
it.
The
Do you know-
first one is still amazing though. You can watch
First one's great,
will
second
hold
one's-
up forever.
They all are
And
great.
then you made a second one, so it's like, okay, we can live with both of them. This makes sense. The third one, it's like you've done it. That's it.
Yeah.
Perfect trilogy. Step away from this vehicle right now, and they're just like, no, you know,
Still gonna go and
we're
see
gonna make
fourth
money
one.
from this.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Still gonna like it, definitely.
Absolutely.
And you know what? They'll probably come out going, that's better than 3.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, how did they do that?
I think it's just the concept of it is something that we all really wanted to be real.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like the amount of times as a kid I would like close my door and then like open it back up again just to see if any of like my teddies or toys had moved and I
Yeah.
could catch them out. Like ridiculous.
I would pretend to be asleep,
Yeah.
but just keep an eye open just to see the teddy like leave the windowsill. That's why I'd always have
Yeah.
the teddy on the windowsill, because at night time you can't see anything else but that window.
Yeah, when I was a kid, that was the most terrifying thing from my childhood was the scene in Poltergeist with the clown. So, when that came to life, like, and nearly killed the kid. And I was like, Yeah, this Toy Story is a bit creepy. Imagine like, find Andy with his throat slit and there's Buzz Lightyear with a knife.
And there's also the endless amount of jokes that we're going to be able to get now from these wonderful toys, because we didn't know
Buzz.
other than Woody and Buzz, from the Slinky to Mr. Potato. I think that one was such an underused prop throughout history. And now they just managed to make this guy what he really is. And the actor that plays him, I think you couldn't have got a better person.
They had to kill off his character if they do a fourth one.
Really?
Tom Rickles, wasn't it, did the voice of Mr. Potato.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, but I feel like
You can get someone to
impressions,
impersonate him.
if you
Yeah.
get someone to do a solid Mr.
Yeah.
Potato Head, yeah. If I could remember what it sounds like, I'd give it a go now. I can't think of anything he says though.
I think one of my favourite voices in a Pixar film was the octopus Ed O'Neill did in Finding Dory.
I haven't seen Finding Dory.
I haven't seen that. No,
I've heard it's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched Big Hero 6.
I can't wait to watch that.
Oh, it was really good.
Everyone's told me.
Even there's a video on YouTube that says that bit where he goes into the police station and where he's putting the tape on and he's like letting that air. He said if at that point he'd just put in the homing beacon in, all of the baddies would have come to him. He could have disabled it and would have won. But it was like, but that's such a good plot.
Yeah.
He just found this hole and just ruined it. Like that.
And was it you told me that WALL-E is like the end of the timeline of all Disney movies?
Oh yeah. So that's like a theory.
That's when he fucked my brain up for like a year. It took me a while. I couldn't leave the house.
Well, obviously
Everything was
world has
ordered
gone
from
to
Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
And most of them are set in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like Cars is another one. I was told that in Cars, the personality of the last person that drove them is what they take on basically after killing them. So the cars decide that they can do away with all of the humans. Because what's the point? They're going to destroy this planet. That's why. Maximum overdrive almost. So they're like, before we get to Mad Max and we have these guys racing around with bones on their face and stuff like that, let's kill them now, and then we can just race forever.
Kill the cars.
it's
Kill the cars.
theory.
Dark, isn't it?
Franchise.
You're taking on the personality of the person that you murked. Well, I mean, they
Well-
were tasty.
There's a lot of subtle dark things in Disney films. I mean, Beauty and the Beast is bestiality, isn't it? Really?
I read an article.
No, it isn't.
Huh?
I read an article on the
That's not bestiality. What's wrong with you?
Hypertrachea or so. There's some condition, you know, where they got the hair all over the face.
Oh yeah.
I saw a girl with
I
it in
remember
South America.
Yeah.
It's really rare. And apparently the real story of Beauty and the Beast was this guy. And for a laugh, the royals married off this hairy guy to this duchess. And they had kids together. They had 5 kids, and the 3 of them had
Well,
hairy
hairy.
faces as well.
What?
And they were used.
Please tell me it wasn't the women.
They'd taken around all these palaces.
Yeah.
They lived a good life, but they weren't free. It was a really interesting article. It was like, shit, that was a real thing.
So was it but the kids that had the hairy faces? Were they male kids, or was it just a random? They went to any of them.
What was it? Because I'd read so many articles years before Google and before pictures are quite ubiquitous on the internet of it, if you look hard enough.
That's scary. That's scary shit.
Back in the day, when if you saw something strange, you'd probably never seen it before. Whereas now, you see something weird, you probably I saw that on Facebook like 9 days ago. It's trending.
Yeah. Or you take a picture of it, you're like, Google, what is this?
Yeah.
And you'll be like, that is a raccoon. It won't harm you. Or, do you know what I mean?
You can still go to some parts of the world they'd never seen a black man or white man or someone with red hair before.
Yeah.
Well, my
it's
friend was
true.
in India recently. He was on a train, their version of the subway. Everyone was looking at him. He is a white male. I figured white people have gone to India all the time.
Yeah.
But everyone in this town that they went to, they wasn't in the touristy parts, apparently.
Yeah.
But everywhere they went to, people would just be asking to take pictures with him, like he was David Beckham. And he goes, I'm not famous. I'm nobody. I'm just a normal guy. They goes, hey, okay. Hey, white man. And then all of a sudden, people just leave their house and then walk down to the street and ask to be taking pictures with him. So he said he had like 80 selfies in India. Ridiculous. But yeah, I suppose, like you said, you go to some parts of the world, nobody's ever seen a black person before, unless it was through this movie or rap video. Do you know what I mean? So, some things, like, some countries don't have YouTube, obviously, so if you can't watch what's trending, or if you don't know who Dwayne The Rock Johnson is, or like Dave Chappelle.
I didn't know The Rock was till I went to Thailand.
Really?
Everyone had Rock t-shirts, and I was like, I didn't know him. I didn't follow wrestling. Like,
Yeah, but
How old were you when you went to Thailand first time?
early mid-20s.
That makes sense then, Pete.
Yeah, I would have been out of that loop. But one of my ex-girlfriends, she's from Ireland, and she'd never seen a black guy before. And the first guy she met was about 6'7". He was a basketball player. So she said she was like about 12 at the time. It was just like...
Yeah, because I figured everyone knew who Prince was, Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan.
But seeing somebody in the flesh you've never seen before.
Oh, well, yeah, that's definitely different.
It's like even being as tall as I am in Thailand or parts of South America. People are still like, when they see a really fat person. Like,
How tall are you?
6'1".
Jesus.
6'1.5".
Do you think it was easy back in the day when you were growing up? But yeah, do you think it was easy back in the day growing up because you were like one of the taller kids? So like,
I was quite short till I was about, well, not short, but I was small compared to so many other kids, and then I shot up when I was about 14, 15.
Okay, so obviously, were you the kid that they would ask you to go and buy cigarettes for everyone else?
No,
or
okay. I've got a young face. When it
even
goes to me a
though,
lot.
yeah, even though I wasn't incredibly tall, I was asked to go and do it because I had a deeper voice. Like my voice disappeared from the age of like 12 and a half. So before I even started, like 13, I was already in school like, oh. I didn't have no facial hair or anything like that either, though. So it was weird. They would just say like, so go in there and just ask for it. And I'd have to wear like a long coat, but like, yeah, a packet of 10 Benson, please. Sorry, 10 Benson hedges, please. The guy would just look me up and he's like, there you go. Back in the day, those ages,
I believe him. He's got a long coat and a deep voice.
You could take a note round from your mum. This is what my mum says, 20 Bensons.
Yeah. No, back in the day, they would do it anyway, though. They as long as you had a decent pitch.
I used to be able
As long
to
as you smoked the brand that your parents smoked,
Yeah.
they knew that he was killing. So I had to
Yeah.
smoke.
Yeah, they
My
knew
mum
everyone.
would smoke menthols for a time, so I always had to buy menthols.
Oh,
I was
no.
lying about it for my mum.
It's not about
As if
rolling
I'd
a joint with menthols, though. Ugh,
There's a
it's
thing about
tough
menthol
back in the
cigarettes is it made you sterile, wasn't it? That's what they
I heard about that in photo.
I don't know
Yeah.
if that's true, yeah.
Or that if you smoke seed in weed, it will give you a low sperm count. I thought smoking in general. Yes, I thought smoking in general did that.
I think having smoked pot for a number of years, someone said like if you're a big smoker, your sperm are just lazily just bumping around. Like,
Yeah,
like
Homer's. Yeah.
just chilling in the.
I would say that they're definitely calm
Yeah.
until they know when they have to actually, do their jobs. But how long have you been smoking for, Pete? Like when you were 14, 15?
No, I started late. I smoked cigarettes from about 15, just a couple of weeks, like. But then I started smoking weed when I was about 22.
Okay, so more about the cigarettes, really. Was it because of the girl, by any chance?
What, I started smoking?
Yeah.
No, just curiosity.
Okay.
Probably a lack of girls if I had more to do with the hands.
How about you, Jake?
What? When did I start smoking?
Yeah.
I don't smoke.
I mean, the first time you ever tried it.
I was 16, I think, when I first tried marijuana.
Oh, that's the first thing you ever smoked.
Yeah.
Okay. Was it for a girl or was it?
No.
No. Okay.
It was because I wanted to smoke marijuana.
Yeah.
So I went and got some, and I was with a friend who did smoke, and he made me roll anyway because he lacked the confidence to roll, and it was a terribly bad rolled joint. But I didn't put any tobacco in it because I had standards, apparently, and I just got really high. It's just me and him and smoked this blunt
joint.
Yeah, and then we realised that we'd walked possibly the furthest that we could have from a shop. So we had to walk back up this hill, and that was the first time I ever got really bad dry mouth. And so we're just walking up this hill with a cotton mouth, and just walking up, eventually get to the shop, spend about 3 hours in the shop, just walking around laughing. And then about a year later I started putting backy in it because I couldn't afford the weed.
Stretching out.
Yeah.
We used to be a bit more. We used to do hot knives because mostly it was like hash.
Okay.
For say from the mid-90s when I came back from Israel, where you couldn't get hash, that was sort of considered a luxury. We used to get these little match boxes with weed, like about 6 grams for 50 shekels.
Okay.
And that would do 6 of us for the night.
Yeah.
We just
Could you
get high on
translate
the
what a
beach.
shekel is to
Can
people
we
who
just
are born
acknowledge how
in
much of a
90
made up word that sounds?
Shekel.
I know it's the yeah.
those shekels and you get out of my office.
Well, the pennies are called agarots.
Agora.
Agarots. Yeah.
Agarots.
Yeah, agarots.
9 agarots and
No,
a
what?
schmeckel.
Oh,
It wasn't
took
that
one
boring
agorot
as
from
well.
my table. I shall cut off your finger.
So yeah,
wait,
5 shekels to the pound was back then. It's not far off.
5
now.
shekels to the pound,
Yeah,
so
about
20p.
3 to the dollar. 3 shekels to
So
the dollar.
20p.
Shekel is 20p.
No, yeah, 1 shekel's 20p. Yeah, roughly.
Okay.
It might have changed a bit recently because when you.
What do you mean recently? Is that a circulation?
Well, no, because of the pound, the way the pound's devalued.
Okay, yeah.
But in Thailand, it used to be 75 baht to the pound.
Yeah.
About 35 to the dollar.
Yeah.
That's how strong the dollar and the pound were. And now it's like 45 baht to the pound.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah. It makes a big
That is
difference.
quite-
It does make a
Yeah.
huge difference.
It used to be 16 dirham to the pound, and now it's 12 in Morocco. So
Shit.
Damn.
to those who say the dollar is like, the dollar's doing all right, we're doing better against the dollar because Trump's in power.
Trump's in power, and I think he's going towards what America do best, really, which is like.
Rip everybody off.
Well, in terms of the business model, it's probably going to be much like it was under Bush, isn't it? Like we're going to see a lot more money going towards arms. We're going to see a lot more money going towards whatever they would trade and stuff like that.
Nothing
Basically
for
more,
social improvement.
yeah, basically more of the same of what you saw before. So really, everything Obama tried to do, where he was kind of using, not that I'm an Obama fan, but still, like he was using his office to kind of create a few more social impacts.
Yeah.
While he was there.
But that's the Democrats' way, because the Republicans claim to be for social change, but they're like, they want to impose. It's weird with the Republicans because they're like, we don't believe in big government and them interfering. The Democrats want to bug you and do all this.
Yeah.
And then they go around and say to women, no, you can't have we don't want you having an abortion.
Yeah.
And while it's not enshrined in law yet, they keep pushing that, and you think, well, maybe you should focus on other stuff as well. Maybe people who are actually alive. I know abortion's a touchy subject, and clearly it's always going to be contentious, even if you approve of.
Are we
women's
talking
choice.
about a fetus here?
Yeah.
Are we really talking about a fetus here?
I'm going to throw a pun in here, but I passed a family planning clinic. There were some pro-life protesters. One of them had a placard which read, "You shall not defeat us." I thought I might sell that slogan to like a pro-life organisation.
You shall not defeat us.
You'd be something to call me.
I'm sure it's a very difficult decision for any woman to have made.
For some, I mean,
they should
Yeah.
have that choice.
for some,
Yeah,
some.
absolutely.
But I think, like you said, for others, it's not that difficult, and they should have the choice to make that. Like if they're in a situation where they know this child cannot have any, and they can't even give the child, they can't even go through the birth, or you know what I mean, like.
Yeah.
Then it's
If more people were adopting, and it was easier to adopt, then I think it would be, you could put more restrictions on it.
But what if
Yeah,
it was a health impact as well? It's like
health
if she
impacts.
was to give
Then it's
birth, she'll die. Do you know what I mean? Until
Yeah.
they can operate or get rid of this thing, then it won't be
Look,
complicated by
people
that.
who are pro-life,
Or
they
Zika.
they see abortion as murder, right? No matter how old the fetus is. But they care very little, clearly, when the person is actually born into this world. Usually in a social level that means there's a reason why the child would be aborted. It just seems strange that they can't separate what is a health issue if a woman's either been raped or she might die giving birth, compared to somebody who's like, I don't fancy one, I'll have one in a few years. It's galling that somebody might think so casually and they're not more careful, perhaps, about that.
But
Again, it's their choice not to have contraception or
But those people, I think, should still be given the choice because
of course.
they're the ones that, at the end of the day, have to go through the horrific process of childbirth.
Yeah.
It
And
should be at 16 weeks after the
it should be at
baby's
16
born.
weeks.
Or as Donald Trump said, some states are allowing his or her to be carried through to 9 months. It's wrong and it needs to stop.
Yeah, what was that?
That was Trump's actual
Yeah, I know,
declaration. Yeah, he was saying he was against life. We just, I mean,
Just not his
it's probably
own,
been said
sadly.
before, but when people say, "Oh, we've got too many people here, we need to get rid of the immigrants," we're like, "Well, if you feel that strongly about it, then go to maternity ward, tell them to stop having fucking babies in any room. They don't contribute anything. They don't speak the language, as I say, someone might have done that.
But that's semantics as well, though, isn't it? If you look at just the numbers of people that can contribute and the people that can't, there are mitigating factors behind those numbers. I think when you have a blanket, policy, it doesn't really address all of those tiny little fractures that's inside that system.
Yeah.
I think the most important thing you need to do, if you represent a city, you need to literally know the needs of everybody in that city. So if you've got councils, everyone in that council needs to know how many people have food, how many people don't, how many people have a home, how many people don't. Because if you don't even know how many homeless people are in your city.
That's government. That's being in government. That's just, because in this country we had this thing against red tape. Oh, we need to get rid of red tape. Which is basically saying, burn all the files. We don't need all this information.
Fuck that!
And you're like, but we need it as a matter of like expediency. And
cops need it after a serial killer hacks. You know what I'm saying?
Hospitals need records. Libraries, schools, they all need it. But this whole idea is that there's too much regulation. It's slowing down business. It's just a ruse by some irresponsible big businesses to say, I don't care about all the shit I dump in the water. Like, why should I care? People are voting for that shit. The fact that there's far less bureaucrats in the EU governing hundreds of millions of people, and there's 10 times as many in Britain, and the fact that we're leaving the EU means that we're going to have more bureaucrats.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we're going to be tougher on borders. What does that involve? More bureaucracy.
More red tape.
Seems like a strange exercise to want to get rid of bureaucracy and create twice as much.
Yeah, but
I mean, sorry, go, Jay.
they didn't think about any of that, did they? They weren't.
Nobody thought about half of it. Is
What would be gained though by, because so moving into Brexit, because I don't really know the true veracity of what's going to happen once the thing is finished. We obviously going to have to negotiate a new trade deal, but the way that we even treat our own like employment in this country is horrendous. So it's like, what are we bringing to a table for these people in terms of, are we still like viable as a country that's really gonna like moving forward? Do we have a plan? That's my whole point.
No.
That's why I'm
that's why they keep calling them white papers. There's nothing written on them.
There's nothing written on them.
It's like we just I've done my own.
Yeah, here's a white paper.
Can I
Most
copy
paper's
yours?
white.
No, it's the problem I have with Brexit is that fair enough, people voted to leave the EU, but there was no question, and it's even been on record as people saying, "Oh no, we're not going to leave the single market," because a lot of people gripes about the EU isn't that they oppose the trade deals that we had; it's that we're becoming a part of a federal state.
Yeah,
so I understand those concerns. Like if you're educated enough to understand the pros and cons of it, and you decide that you're outweighed by the negative. I think with leaving the single market is a whole different thing. And if somebody is racist and they base their vote on their views on immigration, and they believe that single market brings in too many immigrants, ignoring all the benefits, then it's pretty. Then fair enough. But I know a lot of people like my dad would say, "Oh, I voted into the trade thing. I didn't vote for this." So he would want to be in the single market. So they betrayed his vote. And Corbyn, as much as I supported him now and in the past, I think he's wrong on the single market.
So what does this mean in terms? So what does it mean in terms of Ireland? Because when I went to Ireland, they were using the euro. Yeah. Does this mean now in about when is the actual thing going to happen in a year's time, something like that? Was it happening this year?
Brexit next March. Next
March, okay. Does that mean next March when I go to Ireland, I'm going to have to stand in that other queue to queue up just to go to Ireland? Like, the other queue, if you're not
non-EU.
Yeah, non-EU. Do I have to go through?
If your passport's still got the EU thing on it, you could potentially go. They wouldn't be that bothered.
Okay.
I don't think that. Obviously, when we have our own borders and it's just EU nationals and then non-EU nationals, they'll come through as they always have.
Yeah.
So it doesn't change for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to know how it changes, and I'm going to use Ireland as like the barometer.
Because I think when we go to mainland Europe, I think the passports, because for the next couple of years, I'm going to make sure that at the end of this year I get a new passport. So I've got an EU passport for as long as possible, unless they're going to change it. And then I've got till 2022 before mine. I have to renew it.
You mean it's going to be either lost or damaged?
I haven't got enough stamps in it. It puts shame to my other passport.
That's the only way you get a new passport, when it's lost or damaged.
But I've lost 3 already, or I've had a couple stolen, and they're a bit iffy. If I lose another one, they might be like,
this
guy's selling passports.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's a few Pete Whites walking around as well. Like
people have found those passports.
Arnie's confused.
We'll get a couple of years out.
So, what is happening with your giggage? When I want to know when these guys could possibly see us next performsies, like Stormsies.
I wrote some down actually.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah,
Staying in the mix.
adding up
I'm just
all
going to
my
throw
gigs.
out one date.
Actually, a couple of them will be with Jake.
Jake?
We're doing
That's
two in
right.
April, on the 6th of April, Friday, Edge Comedy. Just
Edge
to
Comedy in
remind us, yeah,
Brighton at the
Brighton.
Carolina Brunswick.
And then we're doing Mike Lord's gig. Is that in Northampton?
Mike
Mike
Lord's
Lord's gig at the Arc in Northampton, which is really hard to find last time I went. Because
Is
it's
it a
down
good
this... Yeah, lovely gig. Yeah, it's on a boat.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the fact you just found it out. Like, you just want to vote.
How many people? Is it?
I don't know, really.
You can fit
Good
40
amount,
people on a
good
boat.
amount of
You
boat.
can have party boats.
Yeah.
I
It's-
did
it's
one of
nice.
those party boats on the Thames. Yeah.
It's a nice layout. Like,
Okay.
you're at the room and then there's people sitting in, like, sort of rows. It's
Right.
nice, yeah.
Okay. Got a few before that. I'm doing Mark Rose gig on the 20th of April in Milton Keynes. Actually, some more recent ones. Next weekend I'm quite busy. Let's Laugh on Saturday
Yes.
in Brixton, Ariel and Susie's gig. South Kensington Comedy Club, the Hoop and Toy on the 4th, and Right Funny Comedy in Battersea on the 5th, and then a few others dotted around. And Johnny Glasgow's gig in Harpenden,
Yes.
23rd.
What days Just Laughs?
Which one?
Just Laughs.
Let's Laugh.
Yes, so Let's
Saturday.
Laughs. Saturday.
Next Saturday,
The...
3rd.
Okay.
This Saturday coming, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we're nearly in February already.
I
was
know.
gonna say, it's
I was
just,
looking at
I've
it.
done. I've been doing dry January, and I'm thinking of giving up some stuff in like increments. So I might try smoking in February, and I'm planning on giving up eating French cheese from March. So I get one in there. But no, I've been doing dry January.
Well done.
Yeah,
And it's-
got this
Yeah.
far.
And you feel like normal, right?
I kind of feel like shit at the moment. I don't know. Like when I used to drink, like if I do Torianos, they were like 4 or 5 pints. I used to get really bad cramps in my legs.
Yeah.
Just like wake me up at like 5, 6 in the morning. So even though I was hungover, I managed to get up for work. And talk about growing pains earlier and like ungrowing pains. And maybe there's a touch of the flu about. And like my arms are a bit like saying picking up a cup of tea. It's like a bit of a chore. So if I'm either going through ungrown pains, I've actually got the flu, or I'm just getting older. My muscles are not as strong as they used to.
Wear and tear.
Could be all three.
The bit of that
It's
wear
wear
and
and
tear happens
I mean,
everywhere.
These arms and these shoulders have carried shitload of weight all around the place. Not like that's not a drugs reference or anything.
Yeah.
I've
Mule.
moved a lot of weight, mate.
Yeah.
What about you, Jake? When are you going to be racing these human beings?
I'm actually at TNT Comedy tomorrow, headlining there. Then on Thursday, I am at the Chandos Arms in Colindale. I'll probably be doing some new material there.
New stuff.
And then I've got a week off for some reason. I've got no idea why. So if anyone's got any spots they want to just give me. And then I'm doing Divine Comedy on the 15th. I've got the Hat Factory in Luton on the 16th, which is a killer lineup
This is fucking.
that I cannot remember.
I'll link you into the bottom. Don't worry.
And then the 22nd, I've got a gig in Watford at the Watling Street Brewery with Terry Alderton. Yeah,
Oh, nice.
Terry Alderton headlining. That'll be good. Harpenden on the Thursday, and then the Comedians Comedy Club in Ewell. Ewell.
Yule, like U-L-L.
No, Ewell.
Yeah, you. Oh, yeah. That was so the other you.
You.
Yule.
Ewell, wherever that is.
You'll love the show.
Yeah, and then Comedy in the Crown. Oh yeah, Comedy in the Crown on the 27th.
I can do the
Wow.
20th there.
That's me this month.
I am.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
I am habitually moving slowly. Here we go. I'm doing G&B on the 13th of February. I'm also doing what's it called? What's Marvin's gig called?
instant laughs.
Doing Instant Laughs on the 3rd of February. So yeah, Interlars on the 3rd of February. Then I'm doing Let's Laugh on the 16th, G&B on the 13th. I've done that in a weird Tarantino-esque order, but those are the gigs that I could throw you right now. And for some reason, like Jake, I've decided to take 2 weeks off. Haha. So yeah, anyone wants to offer me a gig, holler at me. I'm actually doing 2 at Just for Laughs. I think I'm going to be there again. Hopefully it's not on that same week as well, 13th. Maybe I think I'm there on the... Does he do it on a Monday or Tuesday? Tuesday and Thursday.
Week. Yeah,
I think I'm doing it. Okay, so I think I'm doing it on a Tuesday as well. He's giving me a gig. Anyway, listen, I'm going to be doing more gigs, so I'll see you guys soon. Anyway, and we'll link the stuff at the bottom of the screen. If you are tired of watching Netflix, come watch some live comedy because it's awesome to do. And there's some stuff that happens in a gig that you're probably not going to see in a Netflix special, like heckling sometimes happens. Sometimes people fart, sometimes people smell. So yeah. Make sure you come to our gigs because obviously we book the best. If you're another gig, carry some Febreze. So you guys are wonderful, and you put on that first song at the beginning. Jake, you're going to tee us up another song to play for the ending, my friend. Give me something juicy.
I'm going to go with sticking with the guitar theme. Always me. Yeah, Joe Satriani.
Joe Satriani.
I'm gonna go with Always With Me, Always With You.
How was Satriani?
Go back.
See, there it is. 2 more.
2 more down, yeah.
You're right.
Seamless.
Oi. That's teamwork, don't seem work.
Okay. Is this Silver Surfer? That's weird. Picking a Silver Surfer, isn't it?
Yeah.
Character,
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the album cover.
I'm going to thank you both guys for coming on episode 70. I'm going to thank you also, Jake, for the Hat Factory. You do a wonderful job there, and obviously you told these people they're going to be moving in April, right? The announcement's out.
Yeah, we're moving in April to the Library Theatre Bar, which is going to be interesting. Hopefully it'll be lovely and wonderful. It's a slightly smaller venue, but it's also out the way, so hopefully that won't be a problem. And if it fills out, we have the option of moving to a 250-seater theatre. So that's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
The people in Luton always come out and show us love anyway, but your family was there as well, which was awesome.
Yeah, my family have showed up to a few.
Steered the beginning of my set. It was wonderful. But yeah, man, thanks for coming out anyway to the shows, and yeah, thanks for watching the show. Other than that, it's been an awesome January. Peter White has made it all the way through with no booze. I think some of you guys have done the dry January, so well done to you as well. There's going to be a full blue moon, full blood moon. What's happening on the 31st?
There's quite a few lunar episodes, isn't there?
Episodes? As in shit's happening with the moon?
Yeah, there's like 4 or 5 by the middle of the year. Like there's a lunar eclipse.
There's 2 in January, yeah. There's super moon at the start.
I
think this is an orange moon, or is it a blue moon this
Blue
one?
moon is coming up.
Okay.
I haven't had one of them for ages. I haven't had one in
Ages.
Once in a blue moon hits
Yeah,
where the
yeah.
phrase comes from. Okay. Yeah, so that's happening as well. So all you fucking druids, go down to Stonehenge and start doing your fertility rituals or whatever you're supposed to do. And yeah, have funsies.
Well, they got loads of time because they haven't got any kids.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Please don't sue me. I'm playing this for as long as I possibly can. YouTube, I'm talking to you. Anyway, thanks for coming back. Episode 70. I'll be back on very shortly with another guest. And yeah, stay cool, stay happy, stay black.